Hey YouTube, this is DBG33K, and today we're going to take a look at the Lumia 640 and its bigger brother, Lumia 640 XL. First we'll be taking a look at the size of each device. Obviously the XL is going to be a much larger version of the Lumia 640. So starting with the 640 itself, we have a height of 141.3 millimeters, a width of 72.2 millimeters, and a depth or thickness of about 8.8 millimeters. The Lumia 640 XL has a 157.9 millimeter height, 81.5 millimeters width, and 9 millimeters thickness. The weight of these devices also have the 640 being lighter. The 640 weighs 145 grams, while the Lumia 640 XL is 171 grams. When we take a look at the screens, you can see that's probably the first thing that you notice is that the screen size is quite a bit different on these two devices. The Lumia 640 has a 5-inch screen at 720p with a pixels per inch at 294, while the 640 XL is a 5.7 inch. Now it does maintain the same 720p resolution that the 640 has. The 640 XL being a 5.7 inch, that's almost 7/10 of an inch larger screen size, maintains the same screen resolution as the 640. So obviously the pixels per inch, the pixel density, is going to be a bit smaller than the 640. So the 640 XL's pixel density is 259. Along with the larger screen size on the 640 XL, Microsoft also chose to go with a larger battery. The 640 XL has a 3000 milliamp per hour battery, while the 640 has a 2500 milliamp per hour battery. As far as storage and RAM goes, these are identical. They both have 8 gigabytes of onboard storage along with 1 gigabyte of RAM. The 8 gigabytes of onboard storage is a pretty small amount. However, both of these devices, when you snap off the back, have a micro SD card slot. So if you wanted to expand that, you can expand the onboard memory by up to 128 gigabytes on a micro SD card. Next, we'll look at the chipset that's in both of these devices. Now, this is somewhere else that's a little bit odd because Microsoft decided to go with the exact same chipset on both devices, despite the 640 XL's larger appearance and larger price point. They're both running a Snapdragon 400 processor. Now, this is a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core processor that is actually the same processor that you'll find in Nokia's Lumia 635, which is a budget handset. If we're looking at prices, the budget handset, the 635, was about 40 bucks currently on Amazon, having the same chipset as the 640 XL, which can go for over $200. So if price is a big point for you and having a good chipset, you know, those go hand in hand, most would think. So the bigger device doesn't make too much sense there. One of the few areas where the 640 XL does stand out over the 640 or any other device currently on the market, or any other new devices currently on the market, would be in the camera. On the back here, we can take a look at the cameras. On the 640 has an 8 megapixel camera that supports 1080p video, and the 640 XL has a Carl Zeiss 13 megapixel camera, which also supports 1080p video. And both have a flash for the camera. Turning them back to the front of the devices, both of these devices do have a front-facing camera. There is the 640's front-facing camera. That's a 1 megapixel camera, while the 640 XL rocks a 5 megapixel front-facing camera right up the top there. In regards to the look and feel of these phones, while they're definitely not your premium phones, they're definitely very solid in the hand. Now, the build quality of it is very solid, so I mean, it doesn't feel like it's squishy, it doesn't feel like it's you know, creaking as you hold it. And having the glossy back definitely helps to make it feel like a very premium phone. Something I did not mention is the small camera bump. So again, on the 640 XL, it does have a 13 megapixel camera. So on the back here, there is a little bit of a camera bump. As you can probably see right on video, it's not too bad. It's not like the 1020 that had the huge camera. Then again, that was a 40 megapixel camera, so we don't have anything quite that nice here. But there is a bit of a camera bump for the 13 megapixel camera on the 640 XL, whereas on the 640, it is quite flush with the back of the device. So yeah, there's a quick look around the device. Here are the sides. Once again, the 640 XL being 9 millimeters thick, the 640 being a slight amount thinner at 8.8 millimeters thick. Here's that. You've seen the front. Once again, here is the back. Though if we're looking at it, see the height difference up there. That height difference being roughly 9 millimeters difference in height. Let's see if we can show you guys the width difference. Width difference being, the width difference is about 9 millimeters. The height difference is about 16 millimeters. So 16 millimeters difference in height. All this for the 0.7 inch larger screen. Now, I knew when I ordered this that the 640 XL was going to be big. I have relatively small hands, so having a phone that's this large as my daily driver just would not be very practical. It would make even reaching, width-wise, a somewhat dangerous game. Not even trying to do full-on, reaching for the top. My current phone, I have the LG G3, and I like to hold it with my pinky on the bottom to support it that way and swipe up and down. I can't hardly get it up to 3/4 of the way up with one hand. This is a great device if you're sitting at home using both of your hands. It's wonderful having this big of a screen, and despite the pixels per inch being lower on this one than the regular 640, the screen still looks very, very nice. That said, I would not be comfortable using this as a one-handed device, especially anywhere where I'm not standing on a carpeted floor. Also to note with that is the fact that the bezel around the screen, the white, the plastic of the back case, I don't know if you can tell, but it's slightly lower than where the glass is. So that means the glass is going to be hitting the floor before the plastic casing is if you do end up dropping it face down like this, which means you could be screwed. And that's not happened to me too much in the past, but I would not want to risk it. So I probably would not end up using the 640 XL as my daily driver. That said, anyone who has larger hands, I'm sure this would be a more comfortable device for them, but certainly not for me. So that's been a side-by-side comparison of the Microsoft's Lumia 640 compared to its larger brother, Lumia 640 XL. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a great day.